Hello and welcome to the videos for this month. I'm Annette and I'm making these videos all about sleep, but not quite the conventional information that we're used to getting. You see, I don't sleep very well, and so I've had to come up with something that will help me to deal with that, and that's really what I want to talk about here. I think there's something really quite important missing from the messaging about sleep. We're used to hearing about all the reasons why we must sleep, and we're also used to hearing all the reasons that we possibly aren't sleeping. And these are often listed as sleep hygiene recommendations, and they're useful. If we're not doing them, then it might make a difference. So I will just quickly have a look at those, just in case there's anything that you don't know about. But I would imagine that you do. Most of us have heard about having no light in the bedroom at night, but certainly using light in the morning to wake up properly and to fix our circadian rhythm a little bit more. There's also the issue of blue lights from computers and telephones, mobile telephones. They influence the brain to believe that it's daytime when actually it may be nighttime if we're using them at night. So reducing use at night by a lot, or even using those glasses, those filtering glasses, can help. There's also the issue of how warm the room is that we sleep in. So the temperature of the room is really important too. And not having too many, in fact, possibly no devices in the room. Electronic devices, get them out of the bedroom ideally. And then there's the whole issue of the sleep routine. It seems to be beneficial for most people to go to bed and get up more or less the same time each day, rather than binge sleep at the weekend, for example. And of course, there's the matter of stimulants, whether or not, if we're drinking coffee late in the day, even in the afternoon, it can stay in our body for long enough to be a stimulant that still is going on working. So it's ideal, if we can, to reduce caffeine to the morning. And with alcohol, well, we tend to know that that's possibly useful for getting to sleep, but it's not a good quality sleep and is far more disruptive to sleep ultimately. And then there's one that I suspect is possibly difficult for a lot of people, because we live in a society now where our culture's changed. We eat often late in the evening, or certainly later than we used to. When I was very young, we used to have a small tea at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, that doesn't really happen anymore. It's a bigger meal, last thing, and it tends to be possibly a little bit heavy as well. So eating something big quite late, that can be quite disruptive to sleep. So that's maybe one to address. It's the one that we've found when I've been working with my husband that people struggle with the most. So I will also just briefly run through some of the things that sleep can do. And I know how frustrating this is if you're one of those people like me who keeps getting this message about how magnificent sleep is, and yet you can't do it despite all your best efforts. But we can apparently age better if we sleep well. We can heal better, respond better to stress, no surprise there, concentrate and focus better. Our heart health is likely to be better, as is immune response to illnesses and so on. Inflammation is lower, energy is higher, but anxiety is also lower. Well, do you know what? It isn't, when I keep hearing all of these wonderful things about sleep that I'm not getting because I'm not sleeping long enough. Then my anxiety tends to go up. And that's one of the problems with this. We keep hearing these messages. They're really useful for people who don't take sleep seriously and could sleep well given the chance. But there are those of us who, for whatever reason, we've tried pretty much everything, certainly on the list, the hygiene list, and there's more things, of course. I've only listed some of them there, but that's the majority. We've tried most of these things, if not all of them, and they don't seem to make a difference. There's something missing from this information, though, for those increasing numbers of us who don't sleep well. Either we don't get to sleep quickly, or we stay awake. And sometimes it's not a case of straightforward thoughts buzzing around in the head, although that's clearly a big one. And this will also make a difference, what I'm about to tell you, if you're able to do it. That list of improvements and advantages that can be gained through sleep is entirely applicable to meditation. Why does nobody tell us this? It means that if you choose to meditate, then you also will be able to age better. You have a chance also of healing better. You will respond to stress better. Your concentration and focus are likely to be better. Your heart health and immune system are likely to be stronger. And your energy is up, your inflammation is down, which of course is really relevant in all sorts of illnesses. And finally, you really do get to lower your anxiety. Of course, with meditation, it needs a little bit of practice, and you really do need to do this during the day in order to have it ready to work well at night. Because if you're one of those people, particularly who does have worrying thoughts buzzing through your head, then you really need to have trained this in order to be able to do it, because it's so much more difficult in the night. And particularly if you wake up in the small hours of the morning, that sort of 3 o'clock time, everything seems bigger than it might do by the time you get up in the morning. And so trying to meditate can have its challenges. So practice is really important. And there are different types of meditation, and any of them that help to instigate a relaxation response are useful. And those such as mindfulness that train you to become aware of the present moment and not to go delving into the past or the future worries or whatever it is. That's really beneficial, but it really does take training. It's why it's called a meditation practice, because that's exactly what it is. So as well as mindfulness, which I think can be difficult at night for some people, some of the time, well worth practicing though during the day and possibly bringing to nighttime awakenings. But also you could use something a little bit more structured, such as a guided meditation. If you have access to something, which most of us do now, there are things even on the internet that we could actually download and listen to. So something that talks you through a relaxation so that you become relaxed, and then you may then be able to do the mindfulness more easily. But the next video I'm going to do will be a fairly simple meditation that you can do that does involve the mind a little bit, because I think it's almost like the mind is saying to you, I want to be busy and help you here, and so I'm going to work through some problems. And if we say back to it, no, maybe don't work through some problems, I'll give you this to deal with, it might just be a little bit easier, because we need to be able to relax, we need to be able to calm down. And often when we wake up in the small hours of the morning, we don't necessarily realize that we're not quite as relaxed as is useful for us. So to do this enables us to gain some of the benefits of sleep, not all of them. Of course, sleep is magnificent, and of course we want to be able to sleep. But just as there are benefits to sleep that you can't gain from meditation, there are also benefits to meditation that can't be gained from sleep. And this is magnificent. So why don't we try for both? Try as well as we can, so that we can be as well as we can. So I look forward to the next video, and we'll have a go at a meditation that hopefully will prove quite straightforward. Thank you for watching.